Browns continuing preparations for the Buffalo Bills this week. They come to town on Sunday for a 1 o'clock game at Huntington Bank Field. And Mary Kay, one of the themes today and really the last few days has been the run game. Obviously, defensively, they've been unable to stop it. We'll get to that. But offensively, they've been unable to get the run game going with Quinshon Judkins in recent weeks.
Yeah, it's really been tough sledding for Quinshon and for the running game. But this could possibly be a get-right game for him and for the Cleveland Browns. The Buffalo Bills are 30th against the run. They're great against the pass, but they're 30th against the run. So this might be a game in which the Browns can sustain some drives, let Quinshon cook a little bit, have him feeling a little bit better about himself, and maybe get the fans off of his back a little bit because he's kind of been taking on a life of its own on social media with people criticizing him. But there are so many things going on with the Browns running game, including the fact that they've fallen behind in games. It's hard to sustain the run when you're falling behind. And then also, when you don't sustain drives, it's very difficult to keep things going and let everybody get their chances. So this could be a good game for him.
Yeah, and of course, look, teams are stacking the box. Quinshon Judkins has faced a ton of eight or more man boxes this season. And the guard situation has been iffy. Obviously, Joel Bitonio has been rock solid, but they half-benched Wyatt Teller a couple weeks ago. Then he got hurt. Then Tevin Jenkins, who replaced him, got hurt. Maybe both of those guys could be back this week, or at least one of those guys could be out there this week, so that would help. And Ashley, it's also not helping that his Ohio State teammate, who went a few picks later, Travion Henderson, is playing really well, but I still think there's something there with Quinshon Judkins.
Yeah, I think it just has been an accumulation of all of these things, right? The O-line injuries, the fact that it really took the Browns so long to get anything going downfield with their pass game. It just made it super easy about midway through the season on for these opposing defenses to start stacking the box against them and making life more difficult. But hopefully with, at least this offensive line in front of him getting at least one more piece back, it seems like, it should help Quinshon Judkins.
Now, on the other side of the ball, of course, we mentioned it, the Browns have struggled against the run, and it's not going to get easier this week. They're facing not only James Cook, who's an excellent running back and just got paid over the summer, they're also facing Josh Allen, who is one of the best running quarterbacks in the NFL. So, Mary Kay, this run defense that has been springing some leaks the last few weeks, it's going to be tested once again.
It really is. And when we talked to Jim Schwartz about this today, he noted, and it's pretty obvious as well, the fact that if you want to give Myles Garrett an opportunity to get those sacks and to set this NFL record that he's trying to set, you have to stop the run so you can force these guys to pass the ball. So that is definitely going to be a priority heading into this game. Everybody knows how difficult Josh Allen is to take down. These guys talk about him that it's like stopping a fullback. Jim Schwartz said it's like tackling Derrick Henry. So that's going to be job number one this weekend, is to try to stop that run.
Yeah, and Ashley, you look back at the Chicago game, they didn't give up the huge plays that they gave up to against the Titans, but Jim Schwartz made this point. There were just multiple plays in a row on some drives that they just lost and allowed the Bears to play a little bit of bully ball against a defense that, really previously you haven't been able to bully much.
Yeah, and he mentioned they failed to make it a one-dimensional game, which is what I always think this defense is trying to do. And again, I think it adds to the pressure for this defense of stopping the run because they haven't played with very many leads. And what do offenses do when they have a lead? They run the ball against you. It's just basic football 101. So I think that's made it more difficult. And that's to say nothing again. We've been talking about this for a few weeks. The loss of Malik Collins, I think, really impacted this defense up front and therefore their run defense.
And just to set up Friday, a couple injuries that we're going to be keeping an eye on. Denzel Ward, if he'll be out there at practice, and of course David Njoku, Mary Kay. Those are two guys that we'll be watching as we go into Friday.
Right, and they just weren't out there today. And by the time you get to Thursday, if you've got a guy not practicing, it's tough to get on that field on Sunday. So they've got one more shot at it. And certainly when you're playing against a Josh Allen, you would really like to have your number one cornerback out there, even though they don't have the number one receiver per se that everyone kind of circles in red on the play sheet. But still, you'd like to have him out there. And then it would certainly help Shedeur Sanders if he could have David Njoku.
Yeah, and we know, look, Josh Allen's a smart quarterback, Ashley. If Denzel Ward's not out there and there's a replacement out there, he's going to target that guy.
Yeah, we were talking, especially after that Bears game, it was such a tough game for Myles Harden. I wonder how many times we're going to see Josh Allen try to target 26 when he is out there and try to make a play. And look, Denzel Ward, even if he does play, he's talked about how there have been whole games he's gone without getting a target this year that he's never experienced something like this in his career. So I'm sure, regardless, Josh Allen and the Bills are going to try to avoid 21.
Okay, we're going to wrap it up there. It's super windy out here. You can find everything that happened here in Berea at cleveland.com/Browns.